I'm happy to have my wife Lucille with me today. I want to introduce her to you because she is a great leader in her own right. We've been married 38 years. She's a former teacher, a former school board member. In 1998, she was North Carolina's School Board Member of the Year. So she does a lot of great things. I will tell you, we have some friends, Jack and Ruby Hunt. Jack was in the North Carolina House for about 20 years. He was Speaker Pro Tem, and he and Ruby are our mentors, and they would travel everywhere together. But Jack tells the story of going to a small country store, and you've seen these scales that you get on, and you put your quarter in, and it spits out a little ticket. On one side is your weight, and on the other side is something about you or a fortune. And Jack put his quarter in, and it spit out a ticket, and had his weight on one side. He looked, and it says, "You are a great orator, you're a great leader. People will follow wherever you may lead." Jack was real proud of himself. He stuck his chest out, and he handed it to Ruby. And he said, just handed it to her, and she looked at it, and she turned it over. She handed it back and says, "It got your weight wrong, too." Lucille has been president of Sir Walter Cabinet, the group of spouses of the elected officials. And people want to know what the spouses do. Well, they keep you in line, and she does a great job. But I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for your interest in Smart Start and your involvement in Smart Start. You know, Smart Start is many things to many people. If you ask people, some people will tell you that Smart Start is a national award-winning program. And indeed, it is. Other people will tell you that Smart Start is really the best model we have of a successful public-private partnership. And indeed, they would be right. Some people will tell you that Smart Start is one of the main reasons that our fourth graders in North Carolina last year rated 5th in the nation on the nation's report card in math, because they had that start of being healthy and ready to learn. To parents, Smart Start is the security and confidence they have in quality daycare. And to a state and really to a nation, programs like Smart Start provide the promise that we will be ready to compete in the 21st century economy. That's why I think we as a group need to acknowledge the great leadership we have had in the past. People like Karen Ponder and Stephanie Fonjul and Ashley Thrift and Robin Britt, and locally you have Ann Duvall and Pat Martin of the Lee Institute and Jane Meyer and many others, people sitting in this room. Thank all of you for your devotion and your leadership to Smart Start. You cannot have a Smart Start meeting anywhere at any time without also thanking Governor Jim Hunt. Jim Hunt gave the visionary leadership to create Smart Start by bringing people together to make North Carolina better. It wasn't a political thing. It was the right thing. And I think the key is that Smart Start is anchored in these public-private partnerships across political parties, across gender, throughout the state. Each and every county in North Carolina has a partnership for children. And that is so key. Will Rogers once said, "A person makes a living by what they get, but they make a life by what they give." The people I have mentioned and the people in this room, you are making a great life by giving back to others. Everyone I've talked about has given a lot to make North Carolina better. You're a part of that group now, and you have the opportunity to add more stars to that crown. It's a little bit like a teacher in North Carolina, Karen Ponder. Karen teaches in the public schools, but on Sunday, she teaches the 5th graders in Sunday school. And she was teaching them the 23rd Psalm, where it says, "In goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." And she noticed that one child somewhere was out of line, so she started having them say that psalm individually. And she realized that what little Janie was saying was that, "And good Miss Murphy will follow me all the days of my life." Well, you know, there's a lot of truth to that. What that teacher was doing will follow that child all the days of their lives. And what you do for these children here in Charlotte-Mecklenburg will follow them. You're giving them that start that they deserve, so I thank you for that. We all know that these are tough times. Our economy is changing. Textiles and furniture and tobacco are no longer the giants that they used to be in North Carolina. And people will say, yeah, we're losing all those manufacturing jobs offshore. But what you need to realize, it's not just manufacturing jobs. IT, accounting, engineering, radiology are being shipped offshore too. Many tax returns will be done this spring by emailing the information to China or India. So we really do have to change what we're doing. We have to gear up to compete in this 21st century economy. You know, change is inevitable. Some of you may know the name Ty Cobb, one of the greatest ball players ever to play. When Ty Cobb was in his early 70s, a sports writer went to interview him and sat down with him and said, you know, Mr. Cobb, you're one of the greatest players of all time. You're in the Hall of Fame. You hit .420. Very few people in baseball ever hit over 400. You're one of the handful of people that did it. You had a lifetime batting average of .376. Nobody ever did that. You played for 24 years. 23 of the 24 years you played, you hit over 300. Nobody will ever approach that. But you know, Mr. Cobb, times change. The pitchers are bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. Mr. Cobb, if you were playing in the big leagues today, what do you think you would hit? Cobb thought a minute. He said, probably 255, 265. They said, you think it's changed that much? He said, heck, man, I'm 72 years old. Times change, and we have to adapt to that change. We must be prepared for this knowledge-based economy. And early childhood development, early childhood programs will not only be important, they're going to be critical because it does make a difference. It is a good investment. Studies show that. Studies show that if you read to a child at age 2, as early as age 2, they may not understand what you are reading them. They may not understand what you are saying. But they have proven through this study that those children will have greater language comprehension later in life. They will have a larger vocabulary. They will have higher cognitive and reading skills. And they will have a greater enthusiasm for learning. Translated another way, it means that with those children, the dropout rate will go down and the graduation rate will go up. And our economy will be better in the future. Because of your work and what you do, 65% of those receiving child care subsidies today in North Carolina have their children in a 4- or 5-star daycare. That means that their children are getting the best care. That means that their children are going to be healthy and happy and ready to learn. Because of your work, you're building a better future and you're planting those seeds for the American dream. The American dream that you can be anything you want to be with hard work, if you devote yourself to it. But to do that, you have to have the tools to compete. I've always said it's not competition when one team walks on the field with brand new uniforms and the best coaching, and the other team walks on the field and they're barefooted and they don't know the rules. But if you equip everybody, everybody gets better. Those tools in today's world would be an education, and a great educational foundation. And the foundation for that is a program like Smart Start that helps young children be ready. If you look at Smart Start and you look at the investment, if you look at North Carolina, we spend about $7,000 per student for our college students. We spend about $8,500 per student, state dollars, in the public school. In Smart Start, we only spend about $3,250 per child in the Smart Start program. But if you look, that is the money that probably makes the most difference. So there's no question it is a good investment. With the changing economy, I will challenge any business owners in the room to get even more involved. We need your help. This is a public-private partnership. And businesses should step up. I say that because I believe that education is market-driven. When we were a manufacturing economy to such a great degree, business and industry was not focused on academic performance. They cared about dexterity and strength on the assembly line. If there was a dropout rate, it did not matter much to them. They were looking for that strength and dexterity. Now the paradigm has changed. Business and industry will say, we've got to have a better product. They're right, but they've got to help with it because they help create what we have today. So they need to step up. The best way they can step up is being involved in programs like this because it makes the most difference. If they do that, they will find that they have immediate dividends because their workers will be confident in the daycare that their children are receiving. They will be happier workers. They will be more productive. But in the future, you will see that those children will do better in school, have higher achievement, as I said a while ago, and with that better education, we will see a better economy in the future. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for all that you are doing. One famous jurist, Oliver Wendell Holmes, once said, most of us die with the music still in us. Most of us die with the music still in us. What he was saying is most of us die without reaching our potential. But the worst sin of all is most of us die without trying to reach our full potential. As human beings, you are reaching your full potential by being involved with Smart Start and helping young children succeed. By being involved in this program, you are letting the music out, and you are making beautiful music for this community. So I want to thank you for all you are doing for this community, for North Carolina, and I wish you the very best in your endeavors. Thank you.